Good morning. My name is Danny with Control Existence, coming to you daily with questions from the clinic or from you guys. Everybody needs their questions answered, and health questions, that is, and I am here to hopefully help you guys with whatever questions you might have, and also questions that are coming from the clinic that I hear every day over and over as well. So, the first question on the list today is, what is pH? pH is a measure of how acid or alkaline your body is. And basically, if you're acidic, then you're typically eating a lot of fried foods, or you're just you're not feeling that great because your body is really very. You could even have stiff joints. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go with that. But typically, you would like to be more alkaline as far as your body state goes. So, on that question, what is pH? You would prefer to be in between 6.4 and 7.0. If you check your first morning pH, which is the urine pH. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to stick a little bitty piece of pH paper underneath your stream of urine first thing in the morning every day, and that's the normal time that you wake up. So, as soon as you get up, you go to the bathroom, you grab a strip of pH paper, you put it under there, and you check your urine pH. And you would see basically where your pH is from that. It should be between 6.4 and 7.0, and you just basically match the colors up on the pH paper canister that comes with the pH paper, and it obviously has a little graph and shows you where you're at, or you can just kind of match up the color of the paper as to where you're at. And so yeah, as far as whenever you get your pH up, you're gonna feel a whole lot better. And so that's one way to check your pH, the ideal way to check your pH, actually. And so let's see. The next question on the list is, let's see, to what does it mean if my pH is too acidic? So basically, if your pH is too acidic in the morning, and or it can also be way like in the purple or way, way, way in the green zone. And if it is, and you're not really doing anything, you're not that healthy, and you're not really doing anything for your health, then typically you're going to have, there's problems that you need to look at in the body. Or maybe there's not problems in the body yet, but the body is just waiting for one to happen. So what does it mean? Basically, it means that your body is in a state of acidosis, and its disease is somewhere around the corner. So you want to get a handle on that as soon as possible. If your pH is acidic, or if it's way, 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 way in the green zone without doing anything, what that would mean would be that you're actually ammonia buffering. So yeah, and if you're ammonia buffering, then it's time you need to do something right now. Either you already have the disease, or it's fixing to begin. So it would be at that time really, really, really important to do something about it. All right, the next question on the list: what if my pH is in range and I don't have a perfect diet? And here's one that I get asked quite often, because pH, there's so many misnomers as far as with pH. And the first morning you're in pH, and people say, "Oh, I checked my pH and I'm perfect and I'm not doing anything. This is wonderful." No, actually it's not. So what that means is, that means that you are doing okay, but it does not mean by any means that you're doing fantastic. If you're not eating 3 salads a day or 2 salads a day with lots and lots of good variety of vegetables, and all those good things, and you come and you tell me that your pH is in range, I'm going to tell you it is starting what am I thinking? It's starting the ammonia buffering process. So it's not that your pH is correct, it's that you're literally going back up the scale towards that heavy, heavy green zone I was just talking about just a few minutes ago. And so that is going to be one of those things that you're going to want to really take a look at, because it's not, if you look at it like a gas gauge, the gas tank's not empty, but it's one of those things that you may be 30 years old and you may be thinking that you're, oh yeah, this is great, everything's wonderful, I checked my pH and it's wonderful and I'm not doing anything about it. That's a warning for you within the next 10 to 20 years, most likely, that something major or more, you will have more things go on, or you will continue the sad American way of aging. And so, and that's something I'm trying to combat here at Control Existence is, let's try to stay as young as we can, because that, there's just why should we age? There's just no reason for it. So, let's see. The next question is, how do I raise my pH? That is a fantastic question, and I'm so glad someone in the clinic asked me this question. There's a couple of different ways you can actually raise your pH. You can do it with, we have a product called Coral Calcium. It has coral calcium and it also has magnesium. And that product can really do wonders if you're young and healthy, or young and, your kidneys are working really, really well and properly. I would use that supplement in order to, we have what's called actually a pH trio. Let me back up just a minute. We have a pH trio. It includes coral calcium, vitamin D3, and allomanin. So, it's allomanin right now. Normally it's Allopro, but we're out of Allopro, so we use allomanin. But that's what we would use today with our pH trio, and what that's going to do is that's really going to help remineralize the body and help raise that pH. If you're young and healthy and have no kidney issues at all. Now, the other supplements that we would ordinarily use is if you're a little older, you have a little bit more miles on the body, then you would use something called greens powder. So we have a really, really good greens powder that you would take, or we even have greens caps, which a lot of people may prefer. They're little capsules that are filled with the greens powder, which is nice for people that don't like the greens. And so what I would do with that is I would do greens powder, vitamin D3, and also limonene oil. And I forgot to mention the limonene oil on the coral calcium. We would also use it with the coral calcium as well. So technically there would be 4 things in the pH trio, so it would be the pH, whatever the 4 things would be. And but those supplements are going to help to get you there on a basic level. There's also more things we can do on a more detailed level if we need to do them, but for just starting out, that's the main supplements that we would use, dependent upon your age and kidney health, to get that pH to raise. So the question of how do I raise my pH is a fantastic question for that, because everybody needs to want to know how to do that. So the 5th question I'm going to talk about today is, what if I am taking everything to raise my pH, but it just won't come in range? That is a fantastic question, because there are some people that are going to have that problem, and more than not. I mean, I don't like to say that there's a ton of people, but there are a few people that are going to have this issue, and I see it in the clinic quite often. I don't like it, but it's something that has to be dealt with. Typically, when you see this, you need to come see me or Skype me or talk to me, email me, whatever, and I can talk to you in much, much more detail about what your personal health issue may be. But the majority of the time, 90-something% of the time, what you're going to see is there's an infection in the body or something going on with the teeth and gums. So typically, every time you see this, it's going to be dental. And that is so important to get a handle on, because as you age, you're going to see more and more and more issues with the body starting to happen if you can't get this pH into range. And look straight to dental. A lot of times it's either an impacted wisdom tooth or an impacted wisdom tooth that has been pulled many years ago or recently or whatever. But typically that is what we see. And so I just basically wanted to, let everybody know that is something that you need to contact me. If you see that this is happening, and you check your, let me actually back up to the checking your urine pH. The first question, I apologize, I didn't say this, is I'm just starting this whole process and I'm trying to kind of get it going, but you're going to want to check your urine pH every 3 days. Your first morning urine pH, you're going to want to check it every 3 days. Don't check it every day. It's not going to be, you want a sampling. It's not an everyday thing, it's a sampling. And now eventually, whenever you get everything right, you'll be able to, you can check it every day and it'll stay in range, and then you won't have to really check it but once a month or once a week or whatever. But yeah, typically once every 3 days. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there as well. But yeah, so going back to the last question, the fifth question, what if I am taking everything and my pH will not come into range? That typically is dental, and you definitely need to contact me. Again, my name is Danny. I am with Control Existence. You can check out my website at www.controlexistence.com. You can also email me there, and you can contact me there. We have supplements that you can purchase. We have all the supplements that I talked about today. You can check all those out. In the near future, we're going to be having a lot more fun things, sales, all kinds of things coming on the website as well. So thank you for listening to this, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day.